You ever notice how the biggest moments in your life don't come crashing through the door with a parade? They sneak up, hit you where you're softest, and leave you standing there wondering if you ever really knew yourself at all? That's exactly how it happened for me, Jonathan Kessler, the guy with a last name on a building, the kind of jawline that says, I got it all under control, when a silent act in my own house turned everything I knew upside down. And it all started, of all things, with a hidden camera. Let me back up a sec. The Kessler Mansion, yeah, it was beautiful if by beautiful you mean spotless, cold, and about as lively as a museum after hours. Since my wife passed 2 years back, I ran the place with the same precision I brought to my business: clean, quiet, expensive. I had the best of everything, but it's funny how you can fill a house with things and still have it echo like a tomb. My son, Oliver, 8 years old, hair the color of milk, skin even paler for being cooped up, spent his days in a hospital bed we'd set up in his room, hooked to more machines than a spaceship, battling a rare neurological disease that left him too weak to run, laugh, or even stand some days. I told myself I was a good father because I gave him the best doctors, therapists, a parade of caregivers, but I was always out the door before sunrise and back after dark. To me, love was spelled Money. That should have been enough, right? Grace, though now there's a name I'll never forget. Quiet as the breeze, early 30s, black woman with a gray and white uniform that made her blend in with the marble halls. She was the maid, period, hired to keep things clean and stay out of the way. But one day, I started noticing things, little changes. Oliver Hoad been this silent, withdrawn kid was smiling more, eating better. Once I caught him humming. At first, I chalked it up to the medication, maybe a good nurse, but something about it gnawed at me. So, one night, when the rest of the world was sleeping, I sat in my office and pulled up the security camera feeds. Just curiosity, I told myself. What I saw nearly knocked the air out of me. There was Grace, sitting next to Oliver's bed, holding his hand, just being there. She brushed his hair off his forehead, whispered stories, made him laugh. I saw her sneak him a stuffed bear, clearly not from our house. She'd feed him by hand, sing to him so soft the baby monitor barely picked it up, sit by his side, wiping his forehead when he had fevers. She even dozed off in a chair some nights when things got rough, never leaving his side. Nobody told her to do any of it. You ever have a moment where the ground just shifts under you? I watched that footage for hours, eyes glued to the screen, refusing to believe it wasn't some angle, some kind of manipulation. Why would Maid go to all that trouble? What was she after? I told myself I had a right to know me house. My kid, so I had a hidden camera installed in Oliver's room, right up above the light fixture, so small nobody would notice. Told myself it was for his safety, but deep down, I needed to know if what I was seeing was real. The next night, I locked myself in my study and watched the live feed. Grace came in, Oliver pale and tired as ever, clutching a pillow. She sat beside him, pulled out a napkin with 2 little butter cookies, his favorite, and said, "Don't tell the nurse." The tiniest smile cracked on Oliver's face. "Thank you." And she leaned in and whispered, "You're stronger than all those superheroes, you know that?" When he said he missed his mom, her face went soft. "I know, baby. I miss mine too." Then she did something I never saw coming. She kissed his forehead, her voice catching. "I'll never let anything happen to you, even if your daddy never shows up again." That hit me right in the chest. I didn't sleep at all that night. I kept watching more footage, Grace reading to Oliver, standing up to nurses, even going toe-to-toe with doctors to make sure he got the care he deserved. She was more than a maid. She was a guardian, a mother in disguise. I'd been too blind to see it. But the moment that broke me for good came on a rainy Tuesday. Oliver had a seizure bad. The medical staff was nowhere. The camera caught Grace sprinting in, cradling his head, whispering, "Stay with me. Baby, I've got you." When the seizure passed, she just broke down sobbing, clutching his hand like it was her own lifeline. I stood outside the hospital room door, rain pouring off my suit, just watching, afraid to go in. She never saw me, just kept praying over him, humming lullabies, her head bowed in the dim light. And I realized in that moment, after all my money, all my plans, I was the poorest man alive. I finally walked in. She jumped up, flustered, apron crooked. "Sir, I didn't know you were." I stopped her. seat. My voice was different, even to my own ears. I looked at my boy, machines beeping beside him, soft and steady, and told Grace what I'd done about the camera, about my suspicions. I thought someone was trying to get to him, or me. I paused, shame burning in my throat. Now I'm ashamed I ever doubted you. She just looked at me steady, proud, but her voice shook. I didn't do any of it for you. I nodded, suddenly feeling so small. She looked away, her words so heavy you could feel them drop. My son was sick once too. 6 years old, leukemia. I worked 2 jobs, still couldn't save him. Held his hand till he was gone. She didn't wipe her tears away, just let them fall. When I met Oliver, I saw the same look in his eyes. I couldn't save mine, but I promised God if I ever had the chance again, I'd give everything to protect another. What do you even say to that? All those years, I hadn't held my own son's hand in months. Grace and minimum wage, cleaning up after meshed, giving him more love than I ever had. I didn't know. I whispered. I never wanted you to. That was just between me and him. For the first time, I sat next to her, took Oliver's hand in mine, felt how small, how fragile it was. I thought money was enough, doctors, nurses. I thought that made me a good father. She looked at me with more kindness than I deserved. Money helps them survive. Love makes them want to. I've never forgotten those words. Hours passed. Rain slowed outside. The house felt warmer. Somehow. As Grace left to give us space, I stopped her. I want to offer you something, I said. She tensed, but I just shook my head. You're not our maid anymore. Not to me, not to Oliver. I want you to stay as family. Her eyes filled up again. Not because I pity you, because we need you. He loves you. Her answer was soft, but it changed everything. Yes. A few months later, the Kessler mansion felt different. Not because of new marble or shiny chandeliers, because there was laughter in the halls, books read aloud on the porch, warmth you could feel in your bones. Grace never wore a uniform. Again, she was just Grace. And I wasn't a CEO at home anymore, just a dad, sitting beside my son, learning what love meant from a woman I'd barely noticed before. So now, when someone asks what changed my life, I don't say money or some big deal I closed. I just look at Grace, smile, and say a hidden camera. You know what I mean? If this story got you right here, do me a favor, drop a comment below. Let's talk about what really matters. Is it money or is it love that changes a life? Hit that like button, share your thoughts, and tell me where you're watching from. Until next time, stay kind, stay curious, and never underestimate the power of just being there for someone.